team doctor will take a look at it tomorrow. They don't expect that it's anything
Kyrie,
serious.
man up.
120.
Got something for you, Kyrie.
120.
Man up. I'll send you all you need, brother.
128, 100.
Shoulder, neck, back.
The game's about 30
Shoulder,
points.
neck, back. I got it all for you, Kyrie.
Earlier this season, New York went to Boston and beat them without trailing, and this time the Celtics don't trail, winning at 128 to 100. How about some Hennessy? Never settle.
How's that some Hennessy?
Never settle.
What are you talking about? Hey, the club started.
You talk about the lineup change and Gordon Hayward. They're 8-7 when he starts, or 5-2 when he comes off the bench. You see what they've been scoring and the other numbers for the Celtics, who have now won 4 in a row. Gordon Hayward went to the bench on November 19th. So Marcus Smart, Marcus Morris have been the guys who were inserted into the starting lineup. Has Boston kind of gotten figured out now, fellas?
Well, I think that's a great move by. Listen, they had to do something, because when you have players who, and I don't mean this in a bad way, who are one-dimensional, who need the ball, and they got 5 guys who really need the ball. But what they did now was they put 2 guys in the offense who don't need the ball. So now Kyrie can shoot as much as he wants to. Al's going to get his shots. Tatum going to get his shots. But if you saw something interesting on that stat, it helps the bench also. Look at the difference. Show that stat again. Look at the difference.
Oh,
that bench
Chuck
got
requesting stats.
Oh, listen,
Chuck
brother,
requesting a full-screen graphic.
Look at that.
Back up.
Their benches went up 11 points. I mean, so it works both ways. Now Gordon can get more shots coming off the bench. I mean, that's just a nice adjustment by, and that's no knock on Gordon Hayward. He's a hell of a player.
Jaylen Brown with his season high tonight off the bench, 21.
Yeah, he is a hell of a player, Chuck, and I agree with you. It does strengthen their bench a lot, because, you know, when you come in as a reserve now, you know, you
can go for it.
You can go for it. You can just go for broke. He's still not 100%. He's probably 89, 90%, but still a hell of a player at 90%.
Man, listen, not many players in this league can come in with a Gordon Hayward and a Jaylen Brown coming off the bench. That's some nice firepower. That's one of the things that made the Spurs great for so long. When they would put Ginobili, who's a Hall of Famer, they're like, go to the bench. You're going to make our bench better. So,
well, I also think that what it did with Kyrie Irving, the reason he left Cleveland was he wanted to be a playmaker, not just a scorer. So when you take all those guys out the lineup, he becomes a playmaker again, because he has to now make plays for other people and score. Where before, it's with all those guys in the lineup, just throw it to me so I could score, because I don't really need you to get me a shot. So I could do it myself. So now it made Kyrie a better player again by making him a playmaker.
So Boston right now tied with Indiana for the 5 spot in the East at 14-10. Toronto, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Detroit, all ahead of those 2. As it all shakes out, where does Boston wind up?
3rd or 4th.
I say 3.
Yeah, 3rd or 4th, because Toronto's going to win
I said
the
number
East.
2.
Toronto's going to win the East.
I don't think they'll catch Milwaukee.
But there's 4 legitimate teams in the East. And
Milwaukee,
Toronto, Philly,
and Boston. Those are the 4 teams that can win the East.
What about
I want to
Detroit?
clarify the
Detroit cannot win the East.
How about the move?